All right, and this is section 2-2, conditional statements. All right, vocabulary. So we're going to underline the conclusion of each statement. So if the weather is nice, then we will go swimming. So the conclusion is what will happen if the weather is nice, we will go swimming. So if I ride my bike to softball practice, then I will get there on time. So that is the conclusion. So vocabulary, converse. Related words is convert or conversion. The definition, the converse of something is its opposite. So the word source, the prefix con, which means together, and vertere means to turn. So it comes from Latin. So a converse involves changing the order of more than one thing. All right, so let's practice this in math kind of context. So we're going to finish writing the converse of each statement. So if the statement says, if I study, then I pass a geometry test. So the converse is basically the opposite. If I pass a geometry test, then I study. So that's what we will put in a question mark here. So if I pass the geometry test, then I study. Statement 4 here. If I am happy, then I laugh. So the converse is if I laugh, then I am happy. All right, 5. So if I have a summer job, then I can buy a new bicycle. So the converse, putting this all together, we would write the following. If I can buy a new bicycle, then I have a summer job. And that is how we write the converse. So we just switch the order of this statement. All right, so conditional statements. A conditional statement is usually the form of if-then. So it's an if-then statement. The hypothesis is the part P, and that follows the word if. The conclusion is the part Q following the then. So often in symbols, we write P implies Q. So it's read if P then Q, or P implies Q. So if P equals tears and Q equals sadness, what are two ways to read P implies Q? So we could say if tears, then sadness. Or we could say tears imply sadness. Okay. So let's identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. So what are the hypothesis and conclusion of each conditional statement? If an angle measures 130 degrees, then the angle is obtuse. So the hypotenuse is the part following the if. The conclusion is the part following the then. So we're going to circle the hypothesis, which is an angle measures 130 degrees, and underline the conclusion. The angle is obtuse. All right, writing a conditional. So how can I write dolphins are mammals as a conditional statement? So we need to circle the correct statement. Are all dolphins are mammals, or all mammals are dolphins? Which one is correct? Well, all dolphins are mammals. Not all mammals are dolphins. So the set of dolphins is inside the set of mammals. Okay. The smaller set is the hypothesis, and the larger set is the conclusion. All right, so we're going to use this the following. If an animal is a dolphin, then it is a mammal. And there you go. All right, let's see if we can find the truth of a conditional statement. So is a conditional true or false? If it is false, then we need to find a counterexample. So if a month has 28 days, then it is February. So cross out the months that have at least 28 days. So January has 31. February has 28 or 29. March has 30, April 30, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31. So is this true or false? Well, this is a false. Okay, every month has at least 28 days. All right, how do we write conditional statements? So the conditional statement, P implies Q, if P then Q. The converse is the reversal of those. We interchange the hypothesis and the conclusion, Q then P. The inverse is where we negate or make opposite the hypothesis and conclusion. And the contrapositive is where we do both. We negate and make inverse of the opposites. So let's try this out. So we're going to use a statement to write each conditional statement. Angle A measures 98 degrees, so angle A is obtuse. So the conditional statement, this is the most original. If angle A measures 98 degrees, then angle A is obtuse. Now the converse, we just switch the order. So if angle A is obtuse, then angle A measures 98 degrees. The inverse, so it's the opposite. If not this, then not that. So if angle A does not measure 98 degrees, then angle A is not obtuse. In the contrapositive, so where we do both. So if angle A is not obtuse, then angle A does not measure 98 degrees. All right, so let's try this again here. So we'll do the same thing. So if a vegetable is a carrot, then it contains beta carotene. All right, so what would be the converse? If a vegetable contains beta carotene, then it is a carrot. The inverse, if a vegetable is not a carrot, then it does not contain beta carotene. The contrapositive, if a vegetable does not contain beta carotene, then it is not a carrot. All right, so the converse, it is false. The inverse is false. The contrapositive is true. All right, so let's give a counterexample of the false one. So here's one possibility. A sweet potato contains beta carotene, and it is not a carrot. Okay, and it is not a carrot, but so a vegetable that is not a carrot, then it does not, so it's inverse. So right there, sweet potato. All right. So your classmate rewrote the statement, you jog every Sunday as, if you jog, then it is Sunday. What's your classmate's error? So circle the hypothesis and underline the conclusion in your classmate's conditional. So my classmate's conditional, the hypothesis, circle the hypothesis, so we jog, then it is Sunday. Circle the counterexample for your classmate's conditional. I also jog on Saturday. So a better one is, if it is Sunday, then you jog. And that's the end of section 2.